with a question. Get your minds working this morning. What is your definition of the word success? It's a rhetorical question. Don't shout out any answers. For some of us, for most of us actually, the definition may involve a custom built home, a healthy net worth, a luxury vehicle, or a corporate job title. But in the disabled community, our answers are different. They just want home ownership. We want to not be living in poverty. We want to have an accessible vehicle to get us from point A to point B. We want a job. The hard facts about the disabled community are kind of disturbing to me. And this is part of why I'm passionate about this. Persons with a disability jobless rate continues to be much higher than the rate for those without a disability. In fact, the persons with a disability jobless rate, unemployment rate is 7.9%. Persons with a disability is 12.6%. That's almost doubled. And people who are employed that are disabled are more likely to be self-employed because it's tough for them to get a job. Now here, hashtag define yourself. There's been a lot of opportunities and growth in equality and access for the disabled over the years. The ADA 30 years ago, 31 years ago, and been a lot of great strengths in that. And a lot of people in the disabled community are still advocating for change, which we can debate whether it's needed or not. But no matter how much change is made, unless people make changes within themselves, none of these other changes are going to happen. They got to have confidence in themselves. They got to have the integrity, the character that an employer wants to have from any employee, whether they're disabled or not. So that's why I started hashtag define yourself. And I want to share why I am the person to be doing this. And that is, here we go. I was born with the rubella syndrome. Yes, this is actually a picture of me as a cute little baby. And the rubella syndrome caused a few birth defects for me. And I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I got a new keyboard. And there you, oops, why am I going that way? Sorry about that. All right. I'm also visually impaired. I am legally blind, 22 in my left, 2300 in my right. I have ADHD and I got kicked out of high school. Apparently kicking a principal to avoid detention was not a good plan. I've battled depression in my life, which is also a disability. It's mental health. And I sustained a spinal cord injury in 2002. It's called an ischemic stroke to my spinal cord, which occurred during my surgery. I had cardiac surgery because I have a constricted aorta, another birth defect from my rubella. But all these things, no matter what happened in my life, I have been equally active as my peers. I've not let any of this stop me. I recovered from four times being expelled from schools and colleges because of my ADHD. In fact, one time after being expelled, I wound up working for the same college. I got myself hired by a company in California, despite my disabilities, when they were not hiring anyone at all. And I won or earned, I don't like saying won because you earn things in life, nothing's given to you. You all believe that, I bet. I earned the Rotarian Most Improved Student of the Year award for being kicked out of high school in my freshman year and returning and graduating in my senior year with honor roll for 1 quarter. I've been in the Who's book of junior college students, and I earned the co-employee Disabled Employee of the Year award in Stanislaus County, and that's in California. And there we go. I also have been volunteering in this community, which you may recognize some of this. I volunteered at Freeman, and I earned the Missouri Association of Hospital Auxiliaries Award in 2015. And I was featured in the Joplin Regional Business Journal as the Salute to Healthcare in 2016. In fact, I've been on a billboard over near where CVS Pharmacy is. I forgot what intersection it is. And yes, Freeman's still in business, even though my ugly picture was up on their billboard for a while. My story has been shared in magazines, Entrepreneur and the Small Business Management, as well as I've written my story and it's been shared in Stroke Recovery Stories, which is available on Amazon. I'll learn these buttons, trust me. I've written a couple of books and I've also been featured in the Joplin Business Journal. in an article on the very last page of the very last issue. So I really hope I did not kill that business journal. But I don't know for sure. So my mission statement on my work is this. My mission is to inspire and empower the disabled community to overcome their goals. And to me, a goal is the challenges, obstacles, adversities, limitations, and or setbacks. And it does not have to be a disabled person. Every one of us has a goal in our lives. And I do this, while I'm doing this, I'm equipping individuals to achieve their goals for success in their professional and personal lives. My vision statement is to become nationally recognized leader for success, creating and building in the disabled community that's fully accessible to all through all forms of media. And now, how am I fulfilling my mission at this current time? I am a self-published author. You saw my 2 books, which are available on Amazon and my website. I'm a freelance writer. You've heard about my article in the Joplin Regional Business Journal. I have my own blog that I post to weekly. I do speaking events. I'd like to do more of those, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but I am a speaker. And I have my own podcast, and I draw upon my experience from working in broadcast radio many years ago to do my weekly podcast, where I talk to people who are successful despite their limitations. Like I mentioned, this is my podcast, the hashtag Define Yourself podcast, available on most your favorite podcast playing platform. Try saying that 3 times fast. And how am I building my brand? You're wondering? That's a great question. I have the podcast. I'm appearing on other podcasts. I'm active on social media. I'm submitting articles for publication. I'm searching for opportunities to speak to groups and searching for expos and trade shows to attend. Always keeping in mind safety because of this situation going on in my family. So my questions here today are this. I'm also looking for advice, input, anything you can tell me to help build my brand, how I can work with HR departments and help them nurture the disabled employees. Any referrals that you can give to me, I would love to take them. I'm not proud. And any other suggestions you have for me. So I want to thank you for your time, for letting me present this morning. And I probably did this under my 10 minutes. So, hey, we have a few extra minutes to spare. So thank you for your time, and I'm ready to have a conversation with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. Who has a question or comment for Chris this morning? Questions or comments this morning? Yes, Doug.
Chris, I just got to thank you for your inspiration. Hearing your story means a lot. And you were listing what defines success. I was thinking you might be surprised how many people have healthy bodies. Look at that right side of that list, and we count those as success too. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of us in that mindset. And so many times people will allow their mindset to go into the gutter if things aren't going exactly the way they want. So the fact that you've been on the path that you are from the beginning and you have the mindset you do, I want you to know how much that's meant to me this morning. And you are my inspiration for the day. To your questions that you presented, I think you're doing a fantastic job in the midst of everything you're dealing with your family, and we're coming out of this pandemic. I think that your message will resonate quite well with people. So I would encourage you to speak to other 1 Million Cups groups all around the United States, just like even though you're local, there's no reason why you can't be presenting all over. And connect with as many disabled folks as you possibly can so that you can champion a universal message if you can, because the quantifying number you presented on the unemployment rate, that needs to be addressed. And I can't think of anybody better to address that than you and the people that have the same mindset.
Thank you.
Very good. Great idea. And by the way, Chris, just like you applied here, just go to 1millioncups.com and you can apply to present to various communities. It's that simple. Any other questions or comments for Chris this morning? Yes.
Hello. Hi, Chris. I'm Kim.
Hello.
I have 2 young children with autism. So knowing that you and companies like you are out there gives me hope for their future. So thank you for that. As my day job, I'm a software engineer and focus on web development. And I'm really passionate about making accessible websites and user interfaces. And I've just recently started working with local development companies, and they're seriously lacking in that department. So having someone like you come in and talk to development teams about accessible like web user interfaces, because I'm sure it's difficult for you to use a lot of websites out there. So I'd love to pick your brain on that and maybe get you to come out or talk virtually to the team that I work with. So I'll be messaging you. Thank you.
Well, before you walk away, yeah, shoot me an email. And second of all, I do have a few episodes on my podcast where I've interviewed successful people with autism. So you may want to check out some of those episodes.
Thank you.
Chris, one of the things you may have mentioned, but I missed, do you also assist with, or do you partner with job placement opportunities for those with disabilities? And if so, are you going into places like Kim's place of work to make presentations available to them to say, this is what you can do, this is how you can do it, here's how I can help?
Not yet, but that is something I would like to put on my list of things to do. Yes. I
would encourage you to do a one-on-one with Doug Hunt, who is the Director of Entrepreneurship of the Joplin Chamber. Doug and Reggie Powers, who's Director of Membership Services for the Joplin Chamber. Connect with them and ask them about some various businesses that would be very easy to get into to present to. Many of our local businesses do lunch and learn opportunities for their employees. That would be a good way to start. Anyone else? Questions or comments? Yes, Shelley.
Hi, Chris.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say something. Great presentation, but I don't really have a question about your company. I'm an interior decorator. I was wondering if I could maybe talk to you sometime about things that people need that are with disabilities that they need in their homes, different things like that. And I noticed that you have your scooter and stuff like that, open doorways and different plans in their home that they would need so that I could work with disabled people.
And feel free to contact me about that. I'll be happy to have a further discussion with you with that.
Thank you.
Questions or comments for Chris this morning? All right, Chris, great job. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very informative. And thank you so much for what you're doing for individuals with disabilities. I have many friends that fit in that category as well. I know it's a frustration for individuals, especially have motor scooters, of how are they going to get around mobile, and how are they going to work at desk and so on. Thank you so much. There's very much a place at the table in the community. So thank you for your presentation today.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for attending today. Please don't run off. Please stick around for coffee and connections, and we will see you again next week. Oh, real quick, Doug, you want to share about Friday?
Yes, absolutely.